All right, what's good, boys? I'm gonna be showing y'all the matches that got me to top 100 in the tournament. So the first match, I'm against 2.6. It's not a bad matchup, even though some people might think it is. It's honestly not too bad, but I kind of knew what this guy was playing before I got into the match because I checked him out on the leaderboard. I wasn't really I wasn't afraid to face him, and I thought this was my friend at first, but it actually didn't end up being him. So this guy is not as good as I thought he was during the game. So he makes some pretty interesting plays, as you'll see. But and sorry for the lack of uploads. I've been super busy with school, and I am taking a summer class at college, so that's why I'm having school in July. But I've honestly been super busy with that, and I just haven't had the time to upload. It's just been a mess. But it I've been playing a little bit. I haven't even been playing Clash much, honestly. I've kind of just been like this tournament was the first time I had actually like grinded the game out in like probably a couple weeks. So I guess I wasn't too rusty, but so here he makes a interesting play. I've never really seen anybody just fireball a tower alone against a balloon deck, but I mean to each its own, I guess. So here I have my Evos. I'm kind of just gonna basically in this matchup, you can't win by just going in repeatedly. You need to build up a huge push that they just can't defend. And I know that, so that's why you see me like here. I'm gonna try and build a huge push, and for some reason he fireballs my Evo Wizard just to not get shield off. That really didn't make sense, but again, to each its own. I don't really know what this guy was doing or why he was this high up, but it's all right. So here I just play a balloon. I know it's going to bait out a musketeer, but as you can see, I can just bowler into this, and this is where it starts getting interesting. So here I don't tornado because I have my Evo Knight in cycle, so I know I'm going to build up a huge push here. That's basically my plan. So I Evo Knight in front of that, a lumberjack and balloon, and then I hold my tornado out for his musketeer, and here I have the potential to break through actually, but so I freeze the Evo Ice Spirit. Honestly, I was just trying to I wanted to have enough health so if he fireballed it would still get damage, but I didn't really think he'd Evo Ice Spirit, so it's worked out better than it should have. But as you can see, so I'm kind of just like when I don't have my Evos in cycle, I'm kind of just playing defense, and I'm using my Evos to defend his push. So my next pushes are always going to be scarier than these. And that's why you don't see me like constantly going in with a balloon. Like I'm just building up. I'm kind of just waiting for the right opportunity. So here I just bowler. So I know this freeze looks weird, but this freeze actually probably won me the game. I know that sounds weird, but you'll see. You'll see. So I have my Evo Wizard, and here I balloon the back. So basically, I know he's not going to be able to defend this. The reason I know that is because my Evo Knight is up next in cycle. So I predict hog. I didn't really get the prediction. It didn't really matter though because I knew it was just gonna get fireballed. So here I just win. Like this is the big push I was talking about. You see how like he just can't defend that, and that's why I ballooned in the back, because I cycled back to another one and he just wasn't able to defend at all. And yeah, that's game over. I mean, this is the thing. You kind of have to wait to build up a huge push in this matchup, and you really just got to be patient. That's all it is. So this guy, I kind of sniped this guy. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest. I sniped this guy pretty bad, and when I saw his name when I got in the game, I was actually pretty happy because I have a complete 100-0 here. Basically, all I have to do is defend until double elixir, and there's like no way I lose this. So like you can look at his deck and just tell he can't defend anything I have to offer. So I'm just gonna be patient all this game because I know if I play it out, I'm easily gonna win. So he's also playing a pretty interesting deck. Nobody else was really playing this. I was seeing a lot of log bait and things like that, and like I really didn't want to match them, so I was kind of waiting for the right opportunity, and here I actually got it. So he goes Demolisher. That's the one thing he has going for him in this matchup is that he can Demolisher into my push, and the Demolisher really does well against my deck because it blows everything back. But here I Knight in front, and I know all he has is Skelly Drags, so I Tornado that, and I get a pretty good Tornado off. So here, I know he wasted his Skelly Drags. I know his only air counter in hand is Wizard. So when he mortars, I don't bowler. So here I just balloon, and then that forced out a Wizard. I'm not going to freeze, though, just because I know if I'm passive, I'm going to win the game. Like, that was a good balloon from me, though, because it forced out a Wizard, and now I'm just up an Elixir. So he has to defend this with Goblins or Demolisher, and I can just bowler the back. Oh, I opt to not bowler. I could have bowlered there easily. I think for some reason I thought he had recruits. If I'm not mistaken, I think I thought he had recruits. But here he has Evo Mortar in hand. I know that, but I have Evo Wizard in hand, so he's not going to break through. And here I go in just so I can bait out the Evo Mortar, so I don't even have to worry about it. I know he has to play on defense. So, but that Wizard actually splashes. So that was actually pretty clutch. I freeze here. I get a good amount of damage. Was it worth it? Well, actually, I got 2 hits. So, yeah, that was definitely worth it. That honestly shouldn't have got a second hit. But, you know, things happen. I kind of got lucky. But those Goblins were pretty terrible. And here is basically where I win the game. He can't defend this. He can demolish her, but I mean, it's really not going to do enough. And yeah, he misplays his demolisher, so this game is over. Pretty difficult matchup for him. He didn't really play the best, but that's not an easy matchup for him, and that's kind of why I tried to snipe him. So here, this isn't like as easy as the last matchup, but I really wanted to face this guy because some people think just because he has Rocket Tornado, this is a bad matchup. But this is actually a pretty easy matchup, and you'll see why. And if any of y'all need tips on this matchup, just watch this. Just pay attention closely to what I do because they really can't beat you. Like, you'll just see. But basically, you just have to space your cards out and bait out their Rockets and Executioners right. So every time he plays Executioner the back, you see here, I literally just balloon the bridge. And I know it's either going to force out a Rocket or it's going to get, he's going to have to Tornado it to his King Tower. I know that every single time. So every time you see him play Executioner the back, you're going to see me balloon the bridge. It's so annoying for them. I always win this matchup. That's basically the biggest tip in this matchup. Another tip I have, though, is that this isn't like a regular hog matchup. Like, you can't take any damage at all, or you probably will lose because the thing is they can't break through your defense, but you have a really hard time breaking through theirs. So you really have to be careful taking damage, and that's why you saw me Knight freeze the first hog because I knew he was playing this deck and not just a regular hog deck, so I knew I couldn't take damage. So a lot of times what you're going to see me do here too is, again, I balloon the bridge, but I'm a lot of times going to force out his tornado. Like, I'll play something here with the bowler, and I know it's going to have to force out a tornado, or he really can't defend it. And he tries to not tornado, but it doesn't really work out for him because the executioner dies. So, honestly, he probably should have played a tornado. But here I was super careful because I knew he could hog, and yeah. But I actually opt to not tornado here. And here's why. So he has to defend all this. I can balloon the left. He has the executioner there. So now I freeze the right, and look at his hand. This is very awkward for him. So that was actually smart on him not to rocket that balloon, because he probably would have lost. That was pretty well played on his part, but here I just don't take any damage. Kind of just reset, but he Xy's, so I can balloon the bridge again. Again, it's gonna bait out a rocket. It's always a +1 trade as well. That's why it's such a good play. And most people, when I watch them play this matchup with this deck, they don't do that, which you should always do that, honestly. Like, even the best players with this deck, a lot of times they lose this matchup just because they don't know to balloon the bridge. But I'm telling you, it works out every single time. People really don't understand. So here, balloon the bridge again. Every time he uses Xe, balloon the bridge. It always works. So I play Evo Wizard here. This is actually super awkward for him, and that wasn't the greatest tornado. So basically here, I know I won. He can't defend this, so I freeze there. And yeah, he has no ground cards in hand. The Valk is on the other side. He lost. Pretty easy matchup. That was very easy. And I did win a few other hard matchups, but I didn't get them on screen record. So here's my finishes, and yeah, I'm gonna try and upload soon, but I'll see y'all later.